Hello guys, I'm Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. Today we're talking about traveling to Belarus. We're going to talk just about regular travel without any intricate moves like residency application and something like this. Just short-term travel, just for most of you, because 2026 is coming, things may be easing down, and for whatever purpose you may be visiting Belarus, let's see how this may be done. Obviously, you should take this video as a sort of a research basis. You shouldn't take it as a specific travel advice which gives you A, B, C plan, and you should take B and go with it immediately without research. That would be a professional consultancy. If you need one, please contact me directly. We're just having an overview of the ways of getting here. And they generally can be split between the visa policies of getting here and the audiences and the categories of travelers who can use these visa-free policies or who can apply for the visas. So, ways of getting here paper-wise. There still is this most popular and most usable visa-free airport mode, which allows some 75 plus country passport holders to fly in and fly out and spend 28 days in between, total 30 days, including day of arrival and day of departure in Belarus without visa. There are dedicated videos about each and every visa-free and visa mode of entering Belarus and traveling to Belarus applicable to your passport, so you may check those for details, but obviously in any case, appeal, address the official source for that information, normally your foreign ministry website and some other related, sometimes commercial, sometimes non-commercial sources. So this mode of travel continues, and most of the countries out of 75 plus list are eligible to just fly in and fly out, flash the passport, nothing needed. There are some requirements like money per day and insurance and hotel booking, and that's kind of, obvious. So the arrangements have to be in place. Some of the countries marked with a star on the list have to, some of the passport holders have to have a valid stamped, meaning used at least once, multiple entry EU visa, and that would allow them to use this visa-free mode. Vietnamese, Indian, Gambian passport holders, as far as I know, amongst others. But have a look at that list and see if you apply and how. The 35 plus EU plus UK country pool of countries whose citizens can just take a passport and drive into the country through the western border, flying out or driving back out by bus or taking a ride by car if necessary. Here and now on December the 2nd in the center of Minsk, I'm only hoping that these visa-free modes will extend into 2026, but normally this gets published as a known fact, as an official piece of information some 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the new year. It doesn't seem like geopolitics is getting worse or something, and it's my expectation is the visa-free for 35 plus EU countries through the western border is going to play further, so it's not gonna stop this year. If a country's arrangements with Belarusian government, be that Turkey, Serbia, Israel, Brazil, to name a few, to use a specific and special visa-free mode between Belarus and this country. For instance, Israeli passport holders now have 3 months straight. They can stay here in 6 months' time, almost like EU citizens, by the way. And Israelis are also eligible to this visa-free thing, and they can come through the western border by land. They can fly in, fly out, whatever. So they are flexible. So for your country's passport, if you heard of some arrangement like this, you may want to Google some sort of an agreement and see if that applies. Visas are, let's say, any country's allowance, any country's permit, like general notion of visa to cross the border. That having a visa does not guarantee you will cross that border, because there are some non-smiling guys asking you about the purpose of visa, checking your social networks and all this stuff. World, by the way, wide, not just in Belarus. So let's see if what kind of visas are available and how you may be getting those visas, because to simplify the logistics, sometimes you have to go the hard way and get that electronic or paper document, and I have dedicated videos in my channel, and get that visa before the travel. So that could allow you go through Russia, to Russia, from Russia, and so on and so forth in various directions. Not so long ago, especially loved by Americans, since 2022 Americans aren't eligible for the airport visa-free mode. Electronic visas can be used by some 60 plus countries. I'll inject a link with a list, of course, and my contacts and donation links down below in the video description. Travelers can apply for a visa for up to 30 days, basically through an online application. The authentication and some SMS confirmations of the payments are making a bit of a headache, but they are working. Americans are using that and they are succeeding, and we can use them as a sort of a let's say an example that it's usable worldwide. So there's not a thing there about the unfriendly countries, about some enemies and stuff like that. These visas are available just like paper visas to all applicants, and based on their personal background there'll be yes or no further on about their trip. When it comes to your online cabinet, it can be printed out using that app. It's explained in my video. Its point is that there's 60 countries, not just 30, that it allows to travel through the western border and leave through the airport and come backwards in whichever mode you see fit. So that's making things much more flexible. And last but not least, the option of a paper visa, which comes from a consulate of Belarus. Normally that's the case, be that in the Minsk National Airport, and there is a dedicated video about that, or worldwide, by the way, not attached to your country of residence. American can apply for that visa, let's say in Tokyo if need be, or in wherever they may stop by for a week. It takes 5 working days normally to get a short-term Belarusian visa from a local consulate, so this can be done in a traditional, conventional way. Let's say the better is your passport migration-wise, migration sense-wise, the easier it is for you to apply for that visa. Sometimes just based on a hotel confirmation you can get a 30-day tourist visa. That was the case this spring with my American tourists, and this is like very random. This is not something you can pretty much rely on, and with some good passports you may be requested to provide A, B and C evidence of your having a good trip planned or some good intentions in store, and in the same disposition next day, or the guy next to you maybe just given a smile and a visa sticker and everything just in a couple of days. Of course, that 2-day visa requires a double visa payment, like 48-hour thing. And yeah, that's a little bit random, but that's a part of experience. So paper visas work as well. And our company, when it comes to relocation and travel to Belarus, obviously is an official, and now student visas as well, is an official facilitator of such visa support. Last but not least, let's travel about the actual travel logistics and travel hurdles, which we've had some in the very recent past. They all have come to normal by looks of it. Here we're talking about crossing the actual border. Ukrainian border is closed, obviously. Russian border is now very much open and available to the holders of Russian and Belarusian visas. These visas are interreplaceable, literally. There's a dedicated video about that too. And Lithuania, Latvia and Poland are available as well, but all with some little tricks about them. About this specifically, we must make a quick note that electronic visas aren't really that perfect when it comes to crossing the borders. And if you happen to be traveling between the countries, I think I had a guy flying here with a Belarusian e-visa from Russia. So e-visas at best work through the airports, although there is a law allowing Belarusian visa holders to travel to Russia by car, train and flight, and the other way around, and technically it also lists electronic visas. In real life, the electronic visas only seem to work through the airports. If you've had a successful experience between Russia and Belarus on an electronic visa of either of those, please leave a comment underneath. That's going to be very helpful to the others. For now, we've just had very mixed experience about that. On top of those recently closed and recently reopened checkpoints on the Lithuanian border, on the Polish border. So now we have 2 checkpoints with Poland and 2 with Lithuania, and it seems 2 with Latvia. I'll put figures here to confirm that. If it's correct, it's going to change by the time you see this video anyway, so double check that stuff. Poland is still not allowing people from Canada, America, generally non-EU people, but excluding UK. The British can very much cross the Polish border back from Belarus, returning from whatever legitimate trip they were in or they were on and holding a residency. They still have to enter Poland through Lithuania somehow. This idiotic ruling by the Polish border control is still in place. Nobody knows where it comes from, but they are very much still upkeeping it. And last but not least, while it's officially allowed to travel on a visa between Belarus and Russia by land using cars, trains, buses, by air using international air flights, there are no local air flights between Russia and Belarus, the transport is only limited by buses and cars only between, let's say, Belarus and Lithuania, Belarus and Poland, Belarus and Latvia. Regular buses, no trains since COVID times, none are, let's say, anticipated. And it seems like walking and cycling is also not an issue between the checkpoints. Well, this seems about it. Thank you very much for watching. Donation links are here if you wish to support the channel. There's more on the channel if you need it for travel and for relocation. And if you need a more specific consultancy, it's a paid service. It's like subject to a donation, let's say. Links, all sorts of helpful links and not so helpful links are down below. Leave your feedback down below in the comments. Press a like, press a dislike. Hopefully I'll see you in Minsk at some point. Cheers.